Hip-hop has always been political, from the organization of community jams in the Bronx to the topicality of songs like The Message and Problems of the World. Hip-hop's soul is forever tied to the kind of commentary that sprung from the streets. In the late 1980s, the political hip-hop of artists like Public Enemy and Boogie Down Productions served to reawaken the black consciousness in mainstream American culture. The rise of Public Enemy announced a new generation of post-civil rights era black voices, born of economic disenfranchisement and politicized. So here are the 25 dopest political rap songs. One of the most incendiary tracks in a catalog that's about as unapologetic as it gets. Chris delivers this firebomb on his classic sophomore solo album, calling out white supremacy and racism on one of his most bombastic anthems. Dissecting Iran-Contra and the influx of drugs into America's inner cities in the 1980s, Mike blasts the 40th President of the United States, explaining how his administration's policies ripped apart black communities and the effects would ripple out for generations. The rhymer out of North Carolina delivers social commentary in the age of Black Lives Matter and Donald Trump, focusing her personal frustrations at police brutality, the prison industrial complex, and the war on drugs. The song that kicked off Chris's Stop the Violence campaign, promoting peace and harmony in the hip-hop community. The campaign was kicked off after a fan was shot and killed outside of a Boogie Down Productions and Public Enemy show. The track encourages listeners to change the narrative of hip-hop and street culture by putting an end to the violence, staying true to Chris's ethos of positivity and black empowerment. Chuck, Kane and Cube take aim and fire at Tinseltown and its depiction of black people, endorsing black filmmakers like Spike Lee while body-slamming Oscar fodder like Driving Miss Daisy. It was the perfect middle finger to the way the big screen has exploited blackness. Ras Kass delivers an Afrocentric telling of history via this notorious track from his debut album, Soul on Ice. Quibbles about accuracy persist, as the Kali MC establishes himself as a wordsmith of the top order, breaking down everything from religion to war. A song that undoubtedly has spark. The Atlanta-based Collective was one of the hottest acts in music when they were tapped to deliver this track for the soundtrack to Spike Lee's Malcolm X. The song became an anthem, essentially a showcase for Priest placed at the end of Jesus' epic Liquid Swords albums. It finds Priest kicking knowledge of self and celebrating how wisdom has helped reach an elevated spiritual place as a man as he picks apart Christianity. M's most famously topical track is him squaring off against George Bush and the much ballyhooed war on terror of the early 2000s. The slow burn of the production gives Eminem plenty of space to air out his feelings on W's legacy. Cube has no shortage of topical tracks, but one of his most incendiary is this assault on the American military, delivered with the specter of Operation Desert Storm and Be All You Can Be. Cube criticizes the exploitative way the U.S. military recruits in the hood. The 5%er-influenced Jersey Crew tackled a number of hard-hitting issues, from black economic empowerment to religion, in their underrated catalog. Here, Wise Intelligent, Culture Freedom and Father Shahid address misogyny, street harassment, and disrespect of the black woman. Sure, the song from his critically acclaimed 2000 album Like Water for Chocolate was very on the nose, and maybe a little book report, but you can't really diss a song that gives a history lesson about the activist hero Assata Shakur. The smoke of the Los Angeles riots was still fresh in everyone's minds when Cube dropped this incendiary single from 1992's The Predator. Cube makes it clear where he stands on things. April 21st was Power to the People, and we might just see a sequel. The good die mostly over bullshit. The Atlanta foursome get raw and real about black power on this. Another gem from their debut album Soul Food. Goody doing what they do best, dissecting racist systems with perceptiveness and relatability. On his most infamous song, the lyrical assassin delivers a harrowing story rap, one that serves as a metaphorical dissection for the degradation of society's morals and the embrace of evil. The Brooklyn Spitter earned his reputation as one of the greatest MCs of all time. On this classic from his flawless debut album Black on Both Sides, Mos Def breaks down the math for those ain't wise to it. Brother J, Professor X and the crew may have delivered their most radio-friendly single, but X-Clan still doesn't flinch in their takedown of Eurocentricity, white supremacy, and even self-proclaimed humanist KRS-One. His Bay Area bona fides are evident, as Paris has been dubbed the Black Panther of hip-hop for a reason. The most famous is probably this classic single, a song so political incendiary that it got the fiery rapper banned from black entertainment television. Recorded following the 1992 Los Angeles riots, you can hear Pac's rage on this banger from his second album, 1993's Strictly From My Brothers, when he raps, "To my brothers on the block better stay strapped." An anthem for the Black Lives Matter era, Kendrick explodes on this standout track from his critically acclaimed classic, To Pimp a Butterfly. His focused fire is aimed at the police and at the racism in which Western society was forged, as he also goes off on gangs and crime. The Compton product reminds everyone that he's all too human and conflicted as well. From day one, Queen Latifah has addressed misogyny in hip-hop. On this standout single from her classic debut, All Hail the Queen, the Jersey star and UK transplant Money makes it plain that history proves that black women are to be respected and honored. The lead single from their debut album, Soul Food, Cell Therapy, served as a blaring marker for Goody's arrival. Organized Noise's distinctive, muddy and sinister production was on full display here, as was the grimy, keenly observant lyricism that Goody Mob became known for. That piano line. Unfortunately, this track is just as relevant today as it was the day of the release decades ago. In this song, KRS-One addresses police brutality toward the black community, linking the days of slavery to the way police acts in these modern times. Comparing overseers to police officers, everyone should be scared of the sounds of the police. The new millennium with this anthem that reminded everyone what hip-hop's heart is supposed to be. Delivered at the height of the rap game's flossiest era, it was a manifesto for maintaining integrity in the face of superficial shine. They didn't try to soften it. They didn't try to smooth it out. Easy, Dre, and Yella and Ice Cube just went there. Before Rodney King, before Boys in the Hood, before the world had seen a peek at life in South Central LA, and W.i.g delivered a look at the hood and the reality of police brutality. Their most famous song, this classic cop diss, notoriously made the world's most dangerous group a target for the FBI. It's the epitome of hip-hop's focused anger. The theme song for Spike Lee's classic, Do the Right Thing, epic single crystallized a generation's righteous rage and became the quintessential anthem for rap's political ethos. The opening salvo, the iconic music video, the infamous Elvis Presley body slam, it all contributes to what would ultimately become regarded as one of the greatest songs of all time.